If your goal is to be able to lift 50 pounds without pain in a way that feels good to your body, then these 3 steps will get you there fast. Hey there, Coach Tyler here, and today I'm going to teach you the 3 steps that you need to take to be able to lift 50 pounds in a way that is pain-free and feels good to your body. Now, this is extremely important because the #1 cause of back pain is people not being able to lift properly. And most of the things you have to lift in your daily life are likely under 50 pounds. Maybe you need to be able to pick up your dog, or perhaps a heavy bag of groceries, or maybe you need to move your child's play kitchen. So, if you follow these 3 steps that I'll teach you in this video, you'll not only be able to pick up 50 pounds safely, you'll be able to pick up almost anything in your daily life and not have to worry about injuring your back. So, here's how this video is going to work. In step #1, I'm going to show you how to make sure that you're flexible enough to be able to pick something up off the ground with good form. This is huge because if you're not flexible enough to pick something up off the ground with good form, you'll need to use the stretch that I'm going to share with you in step #1 to make sure you don't end up hurting your back. Next, in step #2, I'll cover all the details that you need to know in order to make sure that you are lifting things with good form. You'll never get injured, and you'll be significantly stronger once you learn the right way to lift things up off the ground. Finally, in step #3, I'll show you a very simple method that was once used by an Olympic champion to go from barely being able to lift an empty bucket off the ground to standing up proudly while holding 50 pounds. Just do me one favor before we dive in. Make sure that you check in with your personal care provider before you do any of these exercises. I want to make sure that they are safe for your body before you get started. After that, let's go to step #1. Step #1, make sure you're flexible enough. If you want to be able to lift 50 pounds, not injure your back, and do so with perfect form, the first thing you need to do is make sure that your hamstrings, which are the muscles on the back side of your legs, are flexible enough. So, to do that, I recommend the lying hamstring stretch. What this looks like is this. You're going to lay down on the ground, and you're going to bring one leg down and the other leg up, and if you need to, you can put a towel over your foot and use the towel for support. If you're flexible enough, you can reach up and grab it with your own hand, and if you're really flexible, you can reach up and grab it with 2 hands. In any case, hold this position for around 60 seconds, breathing and exhaling and trying to go a little bit deeper with each exhale, and then switch sides. Now, this exercise is so important because if you want to be able to pick something up off the ground, you have to, at bare minimum, be able to bring your leg to 90 degrees. So, if you're stretching your hamstring and you're way down here, then don't even go on to the next step because you're not flexible enough right now. If you just stretch your hamstrings every single day for 60 seconds each side, just like I showed you, you'll build the flexibility rather quickly, and then you can go on to the next step, which will teach you how to lift with good form. Real quick, before we go to step #2, I wanted to ask you for a quick favor. If you're enjoying this content, I want to see more of it, hit that subscribe button and click the little bell icon right now. And when you do this, you'll get an update every time we release a new video just like this. It helps us get noticed more, and our videos will help you transform your body faster. Okay, let's go to step #2. Step #2, learn to lift with good form. If you want to be able to pick stuff off the ground without hurting yourself, well then you need to learn how to lift with good form. And there's 1 exercise and 3 variations that you can use to learn how to do this the best way possible. The first exercise is called drinking birds. This exercise is fantastic because ultimately it's just how your body's supposed to move when you pick stuff up off the ground. So start, bring your feet right underneath your hips with your toes facing forward, put your hands on your hips, shift the weight to your heels with about 90% of the weight on your heels and about 10% in your toes. To start, keep your spine one position from your pelvis all the way to the top of your head, real tall, and keep the stomach tight. From there, push your butt back, weight on the heels again, come down as far as you can, until you feel a nice stretch in the back of your hamstrings. Then squeeze your butt muscles, the glutes, and stand back up to the top position. Now, if you don't feel your glutes working, one of the easy ways to practice this is think about turning your knees to the outside. When you're in this position and you turn your knees to the outside, you should feel little muscles inside your hips and inside your glutes. Those muscles are stabilizing your knee joint and are responsible for bringing your torso to an upright position. So, go slow and controlled, inhale as you go down, exhale as you go up, and really practice this movement, thinking about form first, because that's what's important. You can do this every single day for just 10 reps throughout the day. And when you do this, you're gonna start to groove that pattern in your brain. And when you drop something on the ground, you're no longer gonna do this and hunch over and round your back and hurt your back like that. Instead, you're gonna think about it, you're gonna bend down, you're gonna pick something up off the ground, and you're gonna do it with good form. Now, after you practice with your hands on your hips for a little while, you can make this a little bit more difficult and get even more benefit from it by putting your hands on the back of your head. So what that looks like is this. Hands on the back of your head, you're gonna drive your elbows back like that to try and really activate the muscles in the middle upper back. You're gonna push your weight onto your heels just like before, come down as far as you can, squeeze your glutes, and come back to the top position. Now, if that's still too easy, one final variation to try that really gets all the muscles of the backside of your body firing like crazy is doing drinking birds with your hands overhead. So, to start, your thumbs go up like this, just like a hitchhiker. We bring them back like that. We put our weight in our heels, hinge to the hips, tall through the top of the head, squeeze the core, find that flexible position, squeeze the glutes, and come back up. Just like the other ones, you can practice this throughout the day to create the pattern and the flexibility to learn how to lift with good form. Okay, before we get to step number 3, where I'll show you the best way to work up to actually lifting 50 pounds with good form, I wanted to mention that if you like the way I broke down the drinking bird exercise into 3 different levels, and if you like the attention to detail that we focus on for every exercise, then you'll love the workouts that we send to our members over at warriormade.com. That's because our workouts are like having a personal trainer built into your phone, tablet, or desktop computer. Every exercise in our workouts is customized to your individual skill level, which means you can get faster results and in a way that is much safer too. So, to give our follow along home workout system a try, just click the link below either now or after you finish this video, and you can try it for free on me. Okay, let's jump in to step number 3. Step number 3, build the strength to lift 50 pounds. If you want to learn how to lift 50 pounds without hurting your back, well, then I'm going to show you a cool technique that I first learned from an Olympic champion on how you can gradually build the strength to be able to do this. To start, you're going to need a bucket, and you're going to need a 50-pound bag of play sand. Now, you're going to put this bucket right in front of you, and you're going to use the handle with both hands on the handle, and first we can practice just doing a good lift with good form. So, keeping the weight on your heels, using your glutes and your hamstrings to stand you to the top position, keeping your core muscles real tight, flexing those abs, tall to the top of your head, take a big breath in. That's extremely important when lifting heavy weights off the ground. And keep that breath in and exhale as you extend your hips to the top position. Now, slow and controlled, practice that movement, and once you feel comfortable with that movement and you feel like you've got everything with good form, now it's time to take this bag of sand and gradually, over the course of weeks or months, build up to being able to lift a 50-pound bucket of sand. So, here's how this works. You grab a handful of sand like this, and you throw it in the bucket. Wipe your hands off, come over here, find your good starting position with your feet, tall to the top of the head, tight core, inhale as you go down, butt back, weight on the heels, extend the hips, only this time with an almost unnoticeable amount of sand inside the bucket. Now, you should do at least 10 to 20 reps with that one handful in, and you only have to do this once per day. The next day you come, grab another handful of sand, toss it in, wipe your hands off, and repeat. Put your feet right to the outside, push your butt back, weight on the heels, grab the handle, inhale, core tight, tall to the top of the head, extend the hips, and put it back down. And again, Practice that slow and controlled for 10 to 20 reps that day. Now, I think you start to see what I'm going with here. Every day, come back and add another handful of sand into the bucket. And if this is too light from the start, you can start by adding quite a few handfuls in the bucket if you need to. The point is, over the course of a handful of weeks or a couple of months, you'll slowly be adding weight over and over again, and you'll slowly be building strength and technique to be able to lift those 50 pounds that was your goal. So, go slow and controlled, get yourself a bag of sand in a bucket, and in no time flat, you'll be lifting 50 pounds off the ground without injuring your back, and you'll be building strength so that you never hurt yourself in your daily life picking stuff up off the ground ever again. Okay, there you have it, a 3-step system that you can use to make sure you're flexible enough, that your form is good enough, and that you are strong enough to lift 50 pounds off the ground in a way that is safe and actually makes your body feel good. Try to remember all of the details you learned in this video and try to apply it every time you go to lift something up off the ground. If you can do this, you will protect your back and make your whole body stronger at the same time. Oh, and if you're wondering what you should do next, while learning to pick something up off the ground is important, there are many other exercises that you should practice to help you become stronger in your daily life. So, I'm gonna break down one of the most popular exercises in the world right here. In this video, I'm gonna show you 8 different variations of an exercise called the burpee, starting with extremely easy variations that anybody can do. So, jump on over to that video right now, and I'll show you all 8 steps to work up to everyone's favorite exercise, the burpee. I'll see you there.